This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome to the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I am your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Hope you're having a blessed day wherever you're tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, pulse95radio.com. If you're live on YouTube, Pulse 95 Radio, checking us out on the visuals. I've got Yasmen Ahmed on the show now. I told you back in the day that I would bring her back. And I had to bring it back because today's a special day, and it's a day where on Mental Health Day or World Mental Health Day, what I want to do is I don't want to actually spend time dwelling on it. I want to celebrate it because it's the fact that we have days like this that we're able to talk about it and put it out on the platform for you guys to get interactive with me, for you guys to share your thoughts, share your comments, share your feelings with us on Pulse 95 Radio in the heart of Sharjah with me, Omar Al-Duri. So we are going to be talking about quite a few topics today, but the show is based on you. So if you have any comments or you have any questions, 4215 Itasalat Urdu, or slide into my DMs at Omar Al-Duri on Instagram and let me know what they are. And I promise you, we'll get through it. But I am warning you guys. This show is going to fly by. So go get yourself some water, some tea, get yourselves ready, and I'll see you soon right after this.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I am your host, covering everything sport, international and local. Let me just check if all the microphones are on. Yep, that's right. There she is. You can hear nice and clear. Yasmen Ahmed's on the show, and thank you everyone for tuning in. I like your show, Omar. I think that's Dad. Dad says that. So you know what? As long as I get Dad's approval, I'm very, very happy. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in on the Instagram Live. I really appreciate it. And celebrating World Mental Health Day on a day like this with this lovely person here in the studio with me. It's great to be able to do that with you guys. Thank you so much. Yaz, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back, honestly, on such an incredible day as well.
Yeah.
World Mental Health Day, honestly. It's such an honor to be here.
And it's a bit different to the last time.
It is.
Do you want to tell us what happened on the last time you were on the show?
So I was at the wrong location last time. And it was literally like, I set off really early as well. And I was like, I'm going to get there super early.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Wrong location.
Uh-huh.
So then I had to drive another half an hour.
Yeah.
While this is live.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to get here at the right time. So we literally ran, and Alma had to get me from downstairs.
Running across the corridor.
Running to get me here. And yeah, but this time we're early. We came
chilled.
chill. It was like Amar nearly said doing a prank on me. I thought I was in the wrong place again. I was standing outside the door okay, am I here? Am I in the right place? I'm here.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we managed to get it on time. And it is an important day today. And one of the things we want to do is, as I said earlier on the show, we want to celebrate mental health, mental fitness, rather than, because it's quite a heavy thing on the heart, it's quite a heavy thing on the soul. We want to talk about today. On the first segment today, you know, what is mental health? You know, there's so many people that talk about it as quite a broad subject. In your opinion, what is mental health?
Okay, so mental health, World Mental Health Day in general, we've come such a long way because it actually began in 1992. So it's not actually that long ago, but we've come such a long way since. Mm-hmm. And going back from the history of it, we used to drill holes into people's skulls, thinking that mental health was something evil or something like that. So we've come such a long way, yet there is a lot of stigma and there's a lot of misconceptions and there's still a lot of lack of clarity when it comes to mental health. Mm-hmm. So mental health isn't something that's just externally. Some people say I have to look a certain way to be diagnosed or to say that I have mental health struggles.
Yeah.
I have to externally look really run down or something like that. But you could look absolutely perfect mm-hmm. and still suffer from really, really severe mental health struggles.
What are the signs, Yaz?
So with emotionally or
yes, emotionally.
Emotionally. It's that sense of lack of purpose. It kind of begins from there. It's mm-hmm. not from, people think, it's just childhood trauma or things like that. It's multiple things. So signs can be not feeling pleasure in the things that you used to feel pleasure. Mm-hmm. You know, if you like doing something and suddenly you don't like doing it, or you feel numb, or you don't care as much anymore. It could also be, that feeling of feeling lost, feeling empty.
Yeah.
Even if you're in the most fulfilling relationship, you can still feel empty.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's quite deep in the sense of, and we don't usually recognize it, but it's important for us to start bringing awareness into that.
Yeah.
And to realize that it's just because it's hidden doesn't mean that it's not heavy.
Absolutely.
So that's something that's really, really key, and it happens for women and men.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
Mental health is very broad. It's not just, mental health. It's mental health, it's a social health, it's psychological health, it's emotional, it's everything together.
Yeah.
So it happens to men and women. It happens to all ages, not just old people, not just young people.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to like allow ourselves to be like, okay, it's actually, it can happen to anyone.
Right. What is mental? What is not mental health?
What is not mental health?
Yeah.
So mental health is not an excuse, because some people say, they use it as an excuse. They say like, oh, I have like, I actually have like depression or anxiety, and then they sort of use it as an people say, oh, that's an excuse because you don't want to do something, or because you're not doing something. So it's not an excuse. It's not a fad. It's not a sort of thing that we're going to jump on. I'm just going to jump on the bandwagon just because everyone else is feeling depressed.
It's real.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's a core basic element. There's like, I'm not sure if you heard of it, but like there's Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
So
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So he's a psychologist, and this is fantastic. It actually applies to everything. So there's like a triangle, and it's a hierarchy of needs of what we need as human beings to function, to live a full life.
Yeah.
So the first one's basic needs. So his basic needs is like security, shelter, food, water. And thankfully, we are so grateful to be living in such, like everyone in the UAE, everyone in like most developed countries, we have that.
Yeah.
We already have that. But then the next thing, it's psychological, it's safety, security, and then it's psychological needs.
Yeah.
Then it's, it's purpose, it's fulfillment, it's that status. Then it's like, it goes up. However, we get stuck on like, okay, we've got the basic, okay, fantastic. And then we jump to like work, purpose, relationships. And then we just forget everything in between, which is the psychological needs, the just feeling safe in your own skin. Yeah. Feeling secure in your identity. Yeah. Like all these things we skip. So then we get stuck in that kind of that triangle, and then we're not allowed to then excel.
Right. And when we skip that, we almost forget how fluent that is in our process of development.
100%. It
Amazing.
becomes like we're on autopilot.
Yeah.
We just then become like on autopilot, and then it's just like continuously on to the next thing. And we're not actually then really growing, we're staying stagnant.
Right. And rather than us thinking that we can conquer it overnight, it requires practice every day.
100%.
Excellent. Right. Okay, I did tell you it was going to be a good show. That's only the first segment, but coming up next, why mental health awareness is important and why we're using this platform to be able to raise that on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Salam, welcome back to the halftime show with Omar Duri. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international, local. Special day today. We are celebrating Mental Health Day here, and we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you everyone who's tuned in on the YouTube, live on Instagram, and on 95 FM. Thank you very, very much. We love you guys, and we're so happy that we're spending this day with you guys. Right, some really good comments in the break, so let me get straight into it. I've got the first question, which was, how do people create an environment that they feel safe in both physically and mentally? That's from Terry.
Okay, that is such a fantastic question. Thank you, Terry, for the question. Right. The biggest thing, because I like how you said emotionally and physically, because it's both together, 100%. It's mind and body. Everything's connected. One of the biggest things is to actually start assessing what's important to you. So when we focus, we want to focus on emotional and physical health, but that's too broad. Mm-hmm. We need to start to like make it into sizable things we want to focus on. So what part of your emotional health do you want to focus on? What part of your physical health do you want to focus on? And then start breaking it down to like what are my values, like what is important to me. So for example, say emotionally you want to feel more confident, you want to feel more at ease. Okay, so for me, confidence or having people around me, the surroundings, will be supportive. Yeah. So it's then assessing what I want in my emotional health, and then what action can I take in order to then enhance that.
And isn't that a skill in itself, assessing who you want around?
Yeah, 100%.
So how do you evaluate that on who should be around that environment to influence you as a person?
focusing on how you feel. It's actually it's creating that pause. So like say you meet someone or with your friends, rather than having the exact same conversation over and over, or having that sense of, or drama or gossip or things like that, focus on how you feel when you're around them. And actually create that pause, because we get so used to people, we get used to like whether it's like family members or like friends or people that we've known for such a long time. And then we don't really realize how we feel afterwards. Notice how you feel after you've met up with them, or even the thought of them. Do they bring you joy? Do they bring you ease, peace, all of that? And then if not, I'm not saying cut them out of your life 100%, but then create that sort of limit.
Yes.
So protect yourself. So you've got to start protecting yourself around those people, because if they're not adding to who you are as a person, or adding or supporting you or making you feel good about yourself, then it's really not worth it, because in the end you're the one that's losing. That's the one. Everyone's focused on their own journey, not as selfish as that sounds, but we have to focus on our own journey in order to enhance ourselves.
Absolutely.
So then when we do that, then we become better for everyone else. And for everyone else that's around us. So
no, that's spot on. I like that. And I also always think that when we are focusing on ourselves, people say that's selfish. It actually projects a better environment and surrounding. So you will attract those people that you feel in touch with, in tune with, because you're in peace with yourself. And I think that's really cute. On cue. Adil, right. How can we know the person? She's smiling because that's her dad. How can we know the person we meet has mental health, and how can I deal with it?
Okay. When you first meet someone, it's not first really, it's even people that we're close to. It's the first thing I actually want to point out that's actually very important. It's not, if it's a loved one or a family member or a friend that's going through a tough time or has mental health struggles, it's then not your responsibility to be able to fix that or be able to shoulder that as well, because then that impacts your own mental health. So there's a difference between being able to support someone and then being involved with them in a sense. So the first thing is actually protecting yourself and not being too overly involved. I know, again, that might sound selfish, but you can't support them if you're in the same kind of story as them. And how we can begin to monitor is seeing how are they doing, like in general, like a day-to-day. How are they eating? Are like the basic needs there? Are they forgetting to eat? Are they losing weight? There's actual physical things as well you can begin to notice. So it's paying attention to that, but then also not taking responsibility and shouldering that, maybe supporting them from afar, and then guiding them towards a psychologist, a support group, a community that can support them, and reminding them that you're there. But then, so the biggest thing is really noticing their daily habits as well.
Excellent. Probably my favorite person in Wales. Shout out to Yasmina. She sent a message saying, what role does our community and social circle, right on cue actually, Yasmina, what role does our community and social circle play in our mental health, and how can we maintain that given the COVID restrictions?
Fantastic. We're going to go back to the Maslow hierarchy of needs. So social, like with community, it plays such a big role. So the first one is, like we said, like basic needs: shelter, water, food. The next one is security and safety. And then right after that, it's relationship and love in general, like how intimate we feel with our friends, family, partners, community. So it's actually one of the first things that we need to solidify before moving on to all our other like psychological needs. It's having that psychological foundation when it comes to our community, and because then when we have that, we can build on the rest.
Absolutely.
And then move up to self-fulfillment. And with the second part to that question, with the COVID, with the restrictions, of course, now, I would honestly advise right now everything's moved on to online. And that's actually that's how we met on social media.
Absolutely.
Like social media is a tool that it can be used for good and it can be used for bad 100%. But it's then being aware and being mindful of what you consume on social media and what communities you reach out to. There's so many support groups, there's so many things online. So if you want that sense of community, there is that. But you've just gotta look for it.
Absolutely.
You've gotta seek. where you put your attention is what literally like manifests into reality. So if you want a community, you want that, you start focusing on that, try finding that online.
Yeah.
And then slowly, and through that storytelling as well, people are going to share their own experiences via the community. That alone is incredibly healing.
Absolutely.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Yes, it is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. What a show we've had in store today. Plenty of questions coming in. Keep those coming in, by there's some incredible comments and questions, and we really, really appreciate it. Right. Yaz.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Right. Good.
Yeah?
I'm ready for the question.
All right. So
Yeah.
Megan here says, I find a lot of people automatically assume a person with such challenges are playing victim to their emotions. It's hard to explain to others that's not simply mind over matter. Now, Yaz, how do we build better mental health or enhance emotional well-being?
Yeah. I love the word emotional well-being. Smiled at that. But one of the biggest things is in order to build our emotional well-being is honestly going back to focusing on the basics. So one of the core reasons we don't actually end up like doing really well is because we overcomplicate things. So when we begin to focus on the basics and focus on what we're consuming, media-wise, what we are eating, all these, focus on the basics first, then build on that. The next part can be on boundaries
Right.
that we touched on before when it comes to like family or friends. But creating that boundary, creating that time limit when it comes to certain like environments or people that aren't serving you in a sense, like it's creating that balance, because then you honor your time, you honor your time and your energy and your attention.
Is it a sort of a filter?
When it comes to boundaries?
Yeah.
It's more like it's you respecting yourself enough to know what value that you want to have in your life, in a sense. And boundaries doesn't mean you love that person any less or that you care about them any less. It actually means that you care about them more because you want to be your full self with them.
Yes.
A major thing when it comes to emotional well-being as well is like unforgiveness. This is something that's very heavy. We carry all these like things or experiences or certain hurts that have happened to us growing up, or someone that's hurt us, and then we carry that like inside us, and then having that unforgiveness inside us, not being able to then move forward, keeps us stuck, which then affects our emotional well-being in general as well. So it's honestly, it's something quite small to do, but it's like a general prompt, like what can I let go of now? And it could be, that sort of resistance towards forgiving someone for something that they've done. But in the end, you're the one that's getting hurt, not them. When it comes to unforgiveness.
It's interesting you said journal there. It's something that now I'm starting to see more people get involved in, to be able to record how they feel, what they go through, and almost put that pen to paper to be able to express themselves without having to vocally trust anyone else to say that. Especially on a month like this. Mental health, the awareness of it is really important. Why is it so important?
It's important because now things have changed. If you think about it, like the environment that we previously had, like our grandparents or our grandparents, things have changed. Like we're not always in nature. It's not like people how that used to be in tribes or like farming and being out. We're literally living in boxes. If you think about it, our house is a box, a room is a box, our car's a box. We're staring at boxes, which is basically our phones or laptops. And then as well as we're consuming so much information that our subconscious mind is continuously getting all this information, like whether it's via social media, whether it's billboards, whether it's all these things. So things have changed. So all of this is impacting our emotional health so much. And if you think about the structure and routine that we have, is actually breaking the human spirit. The human spirit is more natural, it's more ease, it's more in flow, it's more creative. How many of us do we actually have the opportunity to allow that side of us to come out?
Absolutely.
We're always in this like routine, and it's breaking our spirit as human beings and what truly makes us human and like natural and just shine.
Absolutely. And journaling, as Terry was saying, is an amazing way to unpack your emotions. So often they're not so overwhelming when you see it on paper, and actually putting it down to paper takes a lot of courage to do so.
Yeah.
Right, coming up next, the positive future of mental health with Yaz. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. Remember, you can catch us on every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday 3 to 4, or even head over to our YouTube channel and catch the shows live with the incredible guests that we have here on the show. Stay tuned, guys, for more on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Yes, we are back. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. I can't believe we're almost reaching full time on the Halftime Show. It's been great so far. If you do like it, head over to the channel, subscribe, like and share. Really important today. We are celebrating World Mental Health Day. It's something that, I think Yaz liked the title of that one I mentioned.
I loved it. Celebrating. We never put those two words together. Celebrating mental health.
Yeah.
World Mental Health Day.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
I'm glad you like it. Aisha Al-Mahdi, how to protect ourselves from other people's mental health problems, especially if we have to interact with them every day?
Ooh, okay.
That's a very good question,
Really
Aisha.
good question, yeah.
Okay, right. So let's try and break that down actually for Yaz. So I think what she's trying to get at in terms of like how do we protect ourselves from getting sucked into that kind of energy when people are having their own struggles individually?
Yeah. So that honestly, it goes back to what we said previously, that it's taking off that responsibility. So it's not your responsibility. In a sense. You can support them. There's a difference between supporting them and being involved. So the first thing is actually then reminding them, okay, hi, I'm here, and reminding that you're here to listen, because we were actually just talking about this, me and Omar, right beforehand, like the power of listening, listening to someone, just giving them that space and like not judging them. Yeah, that alone is super healing. But then also reminding them that they can then seek out support and help them like find other ways, help them find, like a support group or a psychologist or, someone else, and reminding them as well, like I actually have struggles myself as well, so I don't have the capacity, because there's a difference between having time and having the emotional capacity. Yes. Just because someone has time or someone seems like they have doesn't mean that you're always just going to be available. Absolutely. So it's protecting that, and it's giving time limits as well. So speaking to them only for say 20 minutes a day on the phone. Then you've got to continue on, because then it's going to impact your mental health. Absolutely. And I like the fact you also said that, sometimes I face this myself, when you try to offer help or something and someone doesn't take it, it's okay. That's fine. You don't have to force it. You can do your role, and then you can even try and help by recommending them in the right direction, asking about them every now and then. That is enough, rather than just forcing the subject to evolve in a way where you're not in control of it. 100%. And it's also like asking permission. So I love what you said exactly. It's like it's not like you're taking it like personally, but then also asking permission, like, do you actually want support? Because a lot of people, it's quite of a sad fact, but it's true, like some people, when they're in that sort of mindset, or it's like kind of the victim mindset, they don't actually want support. Right. They don't want to get better. They want to stay in that position, and then that's not your role to get them out. So it's asking permission, do you want me to actually support you, or do you just want to sit and like sort of talk or complain, or do you want guidance, or do you want to just safe space to talk? It's kind of creating that difference between safe space to talk / actually offering advice. Yeah, that's brilliant. I really like that. We've got a teacher here, Megan, who's left another comment. She's saying, we place a lot of focus on well-being and mental health in schools now, which I think is fantastic. It's amazing since so many children need this so much. Any tips or advice on strategies to implement with children? I love that. Honestly, like, we've come such a long way, especially in schools, that now it's become more of a common conversation that we're starting to have. One of the biggest tips I'd give is teachers sharing their own struggles and sharing their own stories, and then giving that space for parents to do so as well. So I know right now schools aren't like, you can't have like, a assembly or something, but for example, you could do something online where a teacher or a parent can share something so simple that they went through, what they conquered, and then they got better, and it's giving them that, okay, so if mommy can do it, I can do it too, or if this can do it. And it's also giving them that this is fantastic, like there's so much you can play around with when it comes to kids. You could give them that sense of like inside you, you've got a hero. You know, like what's your inner hero saying to you right now? I
like that.
You know, or like you've got a tiger if you want to be more like courageous or like fierce.
Yeah.
So it's giving them like being quite playful with different elements of that you can give them inside them. So it's like tap into your, you know, your lion, tap into this.
Yeah.
And then it's also giving them that space that they're not alone and that's okay.
Yeah.
And there's no shame. Boys and girls, not just girls.
Yeah.
Not just boys. Boys being emotional, crying. It's okay.
Yeah.
Let it out. Don't dismiss it.
Yeah.
So that's really key. I hope that was helpful.
I think that's
tips.
really helpful.
There's so much like.
You know what? It's also nice that you said is embracing the playful side with the inner hero, with also the educational factor where parents can show that vulnerability and can show that sense of humility as well, which then from a young age they can practice from a young age, so it becomes normal and build up that habit. Really, really love that. Megan says, love that. Thank you. You've given me a great idea. So there you go.
I feel kids benefit.
Yeah, yes. You know, you do a lot of great things. Amongst those great things are, seminars, talks, so many things. Is there anything coming up for you?
Yeah, actually, perfect. So next week, me and Tanaz, who's a life coach, we're combining forces. We're combining therapy, like everything I know from therapy, everything she knows through life coaching. And we're providing a free masterclass, which is next week on the 17th. It's at 8 p.m. Dubai time. And it's focusing on how to strengthen your relationship. So it's going to be 4 tips on strengthening your relationships. There's going to be like relationship with self, relationship with family, relationship with your career, which sounds strange, but we have a relationship when it comes to like purpose, career, and relationship with your romantic partner. And like we said prior, I guess like it's having that solidified like intimacy or like relationship bonds is key for our emotional health. So we want to I know it's been a really hard year for everyone as well, so we wanted to make sure that we're able to provide you guys. It's going to be for 1 hour. It's going to be like high value, practical, not just like all talk. It's going to be practical tips you can apply now, so we can just step into 2021 more confidently and more empowered and just more aligned.
Absolutely. And it's just around the corner. When you say 2021, normally we'd be like, oh, that's next year. It's only a couple months away.
It's literally like less than like 90 days.
That is crazy.
Scary.
That is crazy. Can you tell us, I know we've mentioned this before, but where can we stay in touch with you on social media? What platforms do you use mainly? How can people send their questions into you?
Yeah, so the main platform I have is it's called Inspire with Yaz, and it's Yaz with an S. You pointed this out last time. So Inspire with Yaz, and it's on Instagram, and I also have a website. So again, it's Inspire with Yaz, and the link for the masterclass is free to just sign up. That's going to be in the link in my bio on Instagram. Amazing. So everything's sort of there. You can DM me, you can email me. So everything's
and she responds, by the way, as well. That's why she came on the show. She actually responded to me. So that's hidden proof. Guys, why it's really important that we celebrate Mental Health Day is because when you get to speak to people like Yaz, and you get to be able to relate to a lot of things she's saying, she's studied it, she's gone over it, but even those who have been through it, that's another thing. You get 2 forms of education. You get the form of education where you learn from criteria and books, and you also get the form of education where you get from life, and they're equally as valuable. So please do reach out to her. Do check out her free seminar. It's a great opportunity for you to be able to get your questions out there. I would get her on the show every week if I could, discussing these topics, but I don't have that luxury. So you guys will have a chance to reach out to her and ask her those questions because she's been brilliant. Yaz, thank you again.
Thank you. Honestly, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's amazing.
It's great to have you down. I'm tempted to say let's do this again for a third time. You never know, the hat trick might be 2021. There you go. We might bring it back on in 2021. Thank you again, and thank you for celebrating World Mental Health Day with us today here on the Halftime Show.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Remember, guys, you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 3 to 4 on 95 FM, Pulse 95 Radio in the heart of Sharjah. And also, if you tuned in late and want to check out our shows, head over to the Pulse 95 Radio YouTube channel, and we've got all of our shows and guests on there. And also, guys, make sure you tune in today to Big Hass's debut show on Saturday Vibes on Pulse 95 Radio. You'll be able to catch him. Top guy, exposing a lot of talent out there in the UAE. It's your chance to get your voice heard on his show. Make sure you check it out. That's me. It's full-time. Yaz, thank you very much.
If you liked this episode of The Halftime Show, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.